Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the food experience. Today's food experience. This is something that I cooked last week, and I thought I filmed an intro and I never did. So here's my intro. What I'm making are smoked meatloafs. Each one is 1 pound each. And I've done some revisions to the traditional meatloaf recipe. You'll see as I go along. And I made one for my dad, one for myself. My dad's is ketchup based and mine is barbecue sauce based, featuring Chris and Pitt's barbecue sauce. So good. Anyhow, without further ado, let's go ahead and get down to it. I'm going to start off with the sauce, glaze, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of dual purpose. You'll see I split it. Anyhow, here we go. Starting with the sauce for my dad's meatloaf, going in with a half a cup of ketchup, 1.3 fluid ounces of apple cider vinegar, a few dashes of Worcestershire sauce, approximately half a tablespoon of molasses, dark molasses, a tablespoon of brown sugar, quarter teaspoon of onion powder, and a quarter teaspoon garlic powder. Turning on the induction, I'll go around 176, mix everything together, stir it all together, and you're looking to simmer for about 6 to 8 minutes. Definitely have to stir this up a lot. Don't want any of it to burn. At this point, the sauce is definitely done. Everything is well combined. And I'm removing it. I prepared some onions and garlic ahead of time. I just added the onions to the hot oil. They're sizzling nicely. And I want to get them a little bit translucent before I add in the garlic. Garlic has a tendency to burn, and we don't want to burn it. So this will just take a few minutes. Give them a little stir and shake up every now and again. You don't want these onions to burn either. Time to add in the garlic. Stir, stir, stir. Get those in the mix. Don't let your garlic burn. And once you start smelling the garlic like it's really fragrant, then pretty much right after you're going to pull this. Yeah, onions are definitely getting a nice yellow type of color to them. And I think we're ready to pull. I could smell the garlic. Hopefully that comes across well. That's a half a cup of breadcrumbs and a half a cup of beef broth. Stir all that together. And you may want to let that sit for a couple minutes. In a large bowl, I'm adding 1 pound of ground beef. Also on the side, I have 1 egg. Give that a good whisk. And I'm adding that to the beef broth and breadcrumbs. Give that a nice stir. Going in with a tablespoon of parsley flakes, 1 teaspoon of sage, teaspoon of thyme leaves, and about half a teaspoon of kosher salt. Now mix that up really well. This way everything kind of gets pre-mixed before you add it to the meat. And I always worry about, like, if I'm adding it to the meat, you don't want to over mix the meat. So instead, mix everything up good ahead of time. That's my thoughts. First time trying it this way, and we'll see if it works. Also adding about a half teaspoon of cumin. Totally forgot that. Something I wanted to add to this mix. Give it a test run. And this one's for my dad. I'm going to make mine exactly the same way, but instead of ketchup, I'll be using barbecue sauce. I'm also adding a quarter cup of the ketchup mixture that we made. Now that that's all mixed together, and boy, the combination of all the spices smells so good. Also adding in 4 tablespoons Parmigiano Reggiano. And I got this from a few different recipes that I watched. So kind of made it my own in a sense, but with techniques and ingredients I found in other recipes. Okay, everything is added. Over to the mixing bowl, adding in the onions and garlic in addition to this mixture. Now, you can mix everything together. You want it to be well mixed, but you don't want to over mix it. But leave it loose. It's been pretty good right there, I'll tell you. Alright, so the last step is shaping the meatloaf, right? You want it to be all together. You don't want to see all these gnarly big cracks, because it's just going to crack on you at that point. You want to get it to a nice height, not too tall, but you don't want it super thin either. We want it to try to stay in that shape. I'll wrap it with plastic wrap and leave that in the refrigerator for a couple hours to firm back up. You could do some final shaping if you see it a little out of whack. And I'll see you guys back out at the smoker. Time to turn on the Pit Boss. I have it set for 180 degrees so we'll get that ultimate smoke. The pit is open and we're waiting for the thick smoke to come through and stop. Once it does, I'll close her up and let her get up to temperature. Meanwhile, over here I have the two meatloafs. This is my dad's, this is mine. You could tell this one's a little more red, that one's a little more brown. And I think with mine, I'm gonna add some Q that. I forgot to mention the pellets. So, about a quarter of the hopper is filled with Bear Mountain Barbecue Pecan, and then I picked up a bag of Camp Chef Competition Blend that I have on top, filling up the rest of the hopper. Ooh, look at that luscious smoke come out. As soon as it stops, I'll close her up. Oh yeah, I'm definitely hearing it come to life now. There we go, smoke is almost gone. Closing her up. One of these I'll insert the meter probe. 45 degrees internal temperature of the meat. Well, they don't really have meatloaf in the list, so I'll just put other. Oh, they do have meatloaf. Check that out. It's coming up to default at 150. I'm actually going to change that a bit. And I'll put it at 166. Really, I'm looking to cook it to around 165, so probably around 162 I'll pull it. Ambient temperature is 73 degrees out right now here, 72, 73. So it feels about right. It's actually hitting 225 inside, so it passed the 180 mark. I'll check back with you guys after about an hour. While the meatloaf is smoking, I quartered some baby gold potatoes, give them some avocado oil, using Kinder's The Blend, salt, pepper, and garlic. I do kind of want to get the back sides of some of these. Transferring them to this pizza pan. When the meatloaf's been smoked for an hour, I'm bumping up the temperature, and that's when I'm putting these in. Meatloaf's been in for about an hour, and the internal temperature is at 101 at the moment. All right, let's take a look. Oh yeah, looking good. At this point, I'm also putting in the baby potatoes. There's the ticket. Close her up. When the meatloafs hit around 140, I'm going to baste them with sauce, upping the temperature to 250. All right, folks, check it out. Internal temperature's at 140. Time to start glazing these things up. All right, let's see what we're looking at. Oh, looks great. I love the color. Color's turning out perfect. This is mine. That's my dad's. I have his sauce right here, the one that's more ketchup based. And we'll just lay it on. My sauce is more brown, it's barbecue sauce based. And let's lay it on. Too bad about that corner right there. That's a shame. But it is my first time ever barbecuing a meatloaf. Smoking and barbecuing and all that goodness. Put on the potatoes. Close her up. Increasing the temperature to 275. The internal temperature of the meat is at 142. And when it gets to 150, I'll brush on a little bit more of that glaze. Internal temperature just hit 150 degrees. Check that out, folks. Gonna remove these again. Oh yeah, that looks good. Now for my dad's. And I'm going to let it ride out the rest of the way until it hits around 163, I think. Just got the alert to remove it from the heat. It's at 162. Alright, here's the meatloafs. Boy, they look good. They look mighty good. While the potatoes finish up, I want to tent these. They've been resting a while. Looks like the meter probe wanted to come out the bottom. Yeah, I definitely should have oiled this. There we go. Oh, there is a little bit of a loss. Anyhow, guys.
Give that to Fido.
Yeah, right, if we had a Fido. Yeah. My first time ever doing this, but next time, definitely spray down this rack with some oil.
Oh, yeah.
Right, Dad?
Yeah.
But it looks beautiful. That looks so good, folks. Yeah, the thing is, this meatloaf is so moist.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
It really is. Yeah, this knife is sharp. It goes right through it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here I am with the meatloaf, my barbecue version, along with some of these potatoes. Potatoes are pretty good with that Kinders on them. What do you think, Dad? Pretty good?
Oh, yeah. Excellent.
How about the meatloaf?
It's good old.
Yeah?
Meatloaf is great.
Yeah. Okay, good, good. I'm about to try mine.
I never tasted meatloaf like that.
Oh, I know. And it's so tender.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's why it falls apart. I mean, it's so, and it's juicy. It's not dry.
Not dry at all.
Goodness. I've never had a meatloaf like this either. And I suspect this is the way to keep doing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't mess with the success, right?
Exactly.
The sauce with that Chris and Pitt's barbecue sauce. So good. I mean, of course, there's the other stuff that's in it too. The garlic and the onion. And all right, folks. So I'll definitely come back and try this again sometime. It is delicious. It makes meatloaf like go to the next level, you know? So yeah, I'm really digging this. I like the barbecue vibe, the lack of tomato sauce, and I really believe the beef broth made it a little bit more hearty instead of using milk. I don't know. I just think the way everything was executed on this is really good, and I'm very happy with it. So if you feel like it, check it out. I recommend it. Great recipe, great flavor and everything. Nothing to complain about there. So, all right, folks, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, drop me a line below. I love hearing from you. And until next time, have a stellar day. Be excellent. And most of all, remember me, I'm KJ Andy O, your food experience host with the most. Y'all take care, and I'll see you next time.